This is so depressing. Look, I'm not going to fake being a hardcore, die-hard, dyed-in-the-wool since I was born Lions fan, but this team was great, and this team was fun, and this team mattered because it mattered to the city. And the fact that it all came apart in their first playoff game as the number one seed this year is really soul-sucking. And there are three reasons why this happened. Let's get to them now. Just a reminder to subscribe to the channel by clicking on this button below me. Make sure you are one with the channel. That way you know when there's DA deep dives like this one and notifications when we go live on Watch DA Live on Sunday nights. The three reasons the Lions melted when it mattered most in their first playoff game as the one seed: quarterbacking, injuries, ego. Chapter 1, Jared Goff. Oh my goodness, how many poor decisions did he make? How many bad throws did he put out there? How many moments did Jared Goff give away? And how much of the blame pie does Jared Goff deserve? I'm giving him 40% of the blame pie for this playoff loss. The litany of Goff mistakes is devastating. The first one, they lead 7-3. They drive deep into Commanders' territory. They've got a 3rd and short from the Commanders' 17-yard line. Goff is sacked, fumbles, and gives it away. No points there. That should have been 14-3 Lions. Guess what happens to the next drive? Commanders go down the field and score, take the lead. Next up, Commanders have a 17-14 lead. Goff drops back to pass, overthrows everyone except the Commanders secondary. It's picked off and run back the other way. That's a pick six. And now it's a 10-point Commanders lead, 24-14. Backbreaking. Third mistake, end of the first half. Trailing by 10 points, 31-21. Driving for a score. You're already in field goal range. Don't do anything stupid. It's a one-score game at halftime. Instead, Goff underthrows his pass to Jameson Williams in the end zone, trying to take a shot. That's picked off. No points before halftime. And now the Lions go into the break trailing by double digits. And for good measure, at the end of the game, there's another interception thrown just before time runs out. So that's basically the football version of the golden sombrero for Jared Goff. Total loser performance in a big spot. Goff gets 40% of the blame on this one. Next up, the defense. Aaron Glenn did not have a great day. There's been injuries that just crushed the Lions all season long on the defensive side of the football. They could do nothing to slow down the Commanders. Every time the defense needed to get one stop, force one punt, it seemed like Jaden Daniels took candy from the baby that was the Lions defense, drove down the field, and got points. As a rookie, on the road against the number one seed in the NFC, Jaden Daniels threw for 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, didn't take a sack, and ran for another 51 yards. He was absolutely scintillating. And sure, a lot of that is just credit Jaden Daniels, who's a generational player and will soon be, if he isn't already, a top 5 quarterback every single year for the rest of his career. But that Lions defense was so soft. And for a point of attack Detroit Lions team that prided itself on physicality, how often did you see the offensive line, the defensive line, the trenches owned, won, dominated by the Washington Commanders? That was a poor effort all day. And the defense, which, yes, was playing shorthanded for most of the second half of the season, really got embarrassed at home. I mean, I know that the Commanders, Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury as the OC, have the potential for dynamic performances, but they put up 38 points. 7 of the 45 came with a pick six. And the Terry McLaurin big play touchdown, 58-yarder, was a real eye-opener. Oh, God, the Lions defense is really shoddy today, and they're going to give up big plays. This is no good. 35% of the loss of the Commanders is on the Lions defense. And Aaron Glenn, a hot defensive coordinator commodity in the head coaching cycle this offseason, you have to wonder a little bit about whether you want that performance to be the guy that you hand the keys over to the franchise if you're hiring him as a head coach. What a stinker. And the final 25% of this blame goes to coaching. Some of that Aaron Glenn, some of that Dan Campbell, some of that Ben Johnson. Down 10, right around midfield, early fourth quarter. Lions are driving. They got a 1st and 10. And the decision is to get the ball in your wide receiver, Jameson Williams' hands so that he can throw a pass, which ultimately is intercepted and snuffs out a tremendous opportunity and just pumps up the Commanders with even more momentum and confidence late in this game. At the end of the season, with your year on the line, the decision was, we're going to ask our wide receiver, a guy who just humped the field in the end zone. We're going to ask this guy to put the game, the season in his hands, and as a wide receiver option, throw it. I know Goff was terrible in this game, but that's really how you want to go down. You want to go down with that play. And this is a reminder of all of the interesting, captivating trick plays that Johnson of the Lions ran earlier in the season in games that really didn't matter, in situations that didn't either. The Stumble-Rooski was a phenomenal play, but was that the right time to break it out? I mean, it felt to me like when Johnson was doing that against the Bears, it was almost like a, hey, I'm auditioning for this head coaching vacancy. And then you get to the playoffs and you're desperate. And then that's when you dust off this trick play. I know the Lions had success with these over the course of the season. This is part of their identity. But at that moment, it felt completely reckless. And reckless is how it felt last year in the NFC Championship game when Campbell went for those 4th downs instead of just taking the field goal. And ultimately that did them in. I know you cannot take that out of their DNA, but when Johnson ran that trick play and it was okayed by Dan Campbell, it leaves you with a sinking feeling like coaching also unraveled in the biggest spot because of ego. You know, it's also a reminder that what was lost last year in the NFC Championship game may never be attained again. And we tend to believe that young teams that get chances like that will get more chances, will get more bites at the apple. But you don't know, especially a franchise that hasn't won a championship since 1957. You just don't know. And so you can't blow those opportunities. And yes, it's a painful similarity to a Detroit native, a Detroit icon. But remember what Eminem said, Marshall Mathers, be Rabbit in 8 Mile. You only get one shot. Do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo. For real. There's proverbial vomit on this sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. Hey, remember to subscribe to the channel. Click on this button right next to me. That way you are one with the channel and will get notifications when we go live on Sunday nights for Watch DA Live and when we have DA deep dives like this right through the NFL postseason. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm DA, Damon Amendolara. See you next time.